Right. Let's unpack this. The digital asset universe is it's expanding at an incredible rate, right? And it often feels like you need a roadmap just to keep up, let alone really understand the seismic shifts happening. Well, today we're aiming to be your expert guys. We're going to cut through some of that daily noise and bring you a genuinely fresh development. We're talking about a significant announcement, pretty timely too, hitting the wires just this morning, really. September 11th, 2025. It concerns a major digital asset and a really innovative platform that seems poised to redefine how you interact with the whole crypto ecosystem. So our mission in this deep dive, it's simple. Distill exactly what this news means for you, especially if you're following this space closely, and what it means for the broader path of digital finance.
What's truly fascinating here isn't just the speed, though that's part of it. It's the strategic thinking behind it all. You see decentralized platforms constantly trying to, overcome these built-in challenges, things like high transaction costs or maybe fragmented user experiences or just the complexities around security and compliance. So this integration we're talking about today, it isn't just like adding another coin to a list. It's a very deliberate step towards something more streamlined, more cost-effective, and definitely more integrated for users. It's really about building out that infrastructure that makes crypto genuinely accessible, genuinely useful, tackling those persistent headaches head on.
Absolutely, tackling those headaches. And when we talk about a major player, we definitely mean it. So let's get straight to the headline news here. Stellar, or XLM, the blockchain network known globally for its speed, particularly in cross-border payments and its strong setup for stablecoins, is officially live on MetalX. And this is, like you said, much more than just a simple listing. It's a strategic integration. Marks a pretty significant milestone in expanding direct, efficient access to, one of the industry's top digital assets, a top 20 asset, and it's happening right within this cutting-edge, decentralized ecosystem. And this is where I think the real ingenuity behind MetalX starts to come into focus, offering a really distinct approach to trading digital assets.
Yeah, and officially live, that phrase in this context is a crucial distinction. It means a complete, deeply embedded offering. It's not just superficial. So for Stellar, it represents a powerful new way for its native asset, XLM laws, to reach a wider audience. It enhances its liquidity, its utility. And for MetalX, it's kind of a validation of their platform's capabilities, right? To onboard and seamlessly integrate a major asset like Stellar, which is known for its specific architectural strengths. So it isn't just about Stellar being tradable. That's part of it, sure. But it implies that the underlying infrastructure on MetalX is robust enough to fully support Stellar's unique transaction model. Its low-cost philosophy. It creates this synergistic environment. Benefits both ecosystems and really most importantly benefits you, the end user.
That synergy and the trust that comes with it, that's absolutely paramount.
Right. And speaking of foundations, let's dive into MetalX itself. What makes it so unique as a decentralized trading platform? It's described, like we said, as a decentralized trading platform built for the next era of digital finance. And it proudly calls itself a true on-chain DEX. Now, lots of platforms throw around the term decentralized, but what exactly sets MetalX apart here? And maybe more importantly, why should you care about the on-chain part specifically?
Right, good questions. So the decentralized aspect is, it's fundamental. For you listening, this isn't just about, getting rid of a central company. It's about shifting how asset control works. On MetalX, your private keys stay yours. That's huge. It mitigates that counterparty risk you have with centralized exchanges, where the exchange itself holds your assets. Right? So this means you're not dependent on some third party to manage your funds, a critical point for security, for autonomy, and the on-chain part. That ensures every single transaction, every order you place is recorded directly, immutably on the blockchain itself. This provides a level of transparency, of auditability that, frankly, off-chain systems or internal ledgers just can't match.
Yeah.
So if we connect this to that bigger picture.
That next era of digital finance really means moving towards an ecosystem where users have more direct control, transactions are verifiable by anyone, and the whole system is designed for greater resilience and fairness. It's basically user empowerment through transparent tech, moving away from that kind of black box feel of traditional finance and even some earlier crypto platforms.
That makes perfect sense. User empowerment, transparency, control. It's the core promise, really. But okay, the practical question many listeners probably have is, fine, but what does this actually look like when I'm trying to trade? So let's peel back the layers a bit more. Look at the practical side. Starting with this new trading pair, we're seeing the introduction of the XXLM XMD trading pair. And for anyone wondering, XMD is MetalX's own native stablecoin, pegged meticulously to the US dollar. So this new pairing, it gives traders seamless access to Stellar's liquidity right there within the MetalX ecosystem. You can directly exchange Stellar lumens for a stable dollar-backed asset. What's the strategic thinking behind this specific pair?
Yeah. That's a very shrewd move strategically. A trading pair is, it's fundamental to any exchange, right? It defines what you can swap directly. The XMD pair is significant because it directly links Stellar's network, known for fast, low-cost transfers, with MetalX's own stablecoin, XMD. XMD acts as that stable value anchor right inside the MetalX system. It lets users move from the, let's say, volatility of XLM into a stable asset without ever having to leave the platform. That's key.
Right, keeps it all in one place.
Exactly. So this doesn't just enhance Stellar's utility for people maybe looking to lock in gains or just hold a stable asset for a bit. It also deepens the liquidity for both XLM and XMD on MetalX itself. So for users, that phrase, seamless access to Stellar's liquidity, what it means practically is more efficient price discovery, potentially tighter spreads between buying and selling, and quicker execution of trades for XLM against that stable dollar value. It just makes MetalX a more compelling place to trade, especially if you value both speed, like Stellar offers, and stability, like XMD provides. It cuts down friction, adds flexibility. Those are two really powerful advantages in these fast-moving markets.
Friction removal, flexibility. Yeah, that's definitely music to any crypto enthusiast's ears. And speaking of benefits, let's really zero in on what this all means for you, the listener, because, at the end of the day, these big announcements, they need to translate into real, tangible advantages. So what specific edges does this Stellar integration on MetalX bring to your doorstep?
Okay, yeah, this is where that core value proposition of MetalX really comes through, directly impacting your experience. First up, let's talk about zero gas fees. Now, gas fees, you probably know, are typically those variable costs you pay to a blockchain network for processing, validating your operations. On many networks, Ethereum being a prime example sometimes, these fees can fluctuate wildly. They often become a huge barrier, especially for smaller trades or if you're a very active user.
Oh yeah, they can be brutal.
They really can. MetalX, however, has engineered a way to, eliminate these for the end user. Now, the specifics behind that often involve sophisticated tech, maybe layer 2 scaling or a custom fee delegation model where the protocol absorbs the costs. But the bottom line for you, it's clear. You can execute trades, you can do swaps, engage with other functions without that unpredictable network fee constantly eating into your potential profits or just making small actions uneconomical. This opens up possibilities like microtransactions or maybe higher frequency trading strategies that just weren't feasible before on other chains purely because of cost. It's honestly a game changer, both for active traders and maybe people newer to the space who get put off by those hidden costs in DeFi.
That is a huge distinction. Yeah, nobody likes those unpredictable, often quite high fees, especially when they can just wipe out potential gains. It feels like it democratizes access in a way, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Makes participation much more economically viable for pretty much everyone. Okay, then the second point, on-chain security. The source material describes this as transparent, decentralized, and compliant by design. Now, this isn't just, marketing speak. It represents a commitment to a higher standard. Transparent means every transaction, every single order book entry is visible right there on the public ledger. Anyone can verify it. This gets rid of those opaque practices that have, let's be honest, sometimes plagued centralized exchanges.
Decentralized means there's no single point of failure. Your assets aren't sitting in a central honeypot vulnerable to hacks or censorship. Instead, they're controlled by smart contracts on the blockchain. You hold the keys. And compliant by design, this part is particularly interesting and increasingly important. It suggests that MetalX has actually integrated regulatory considerations right from the start, not just tacked them on later. This might involve things like built-in KYSML layers, maybe a robust identity verification or adherence to specific legal frameworks. The goal is a secure, legitimate environment, while still trying to preserve those core principles of decentralization. So for users, this translates to enhanced trust, enhanced reliability. It's a significant step up in user confidence and protection compared to some earlier, less regulated systems that kind of operate in a gray area. And, this brings up an important question. In a world where regulatory scrutiny is definitely increasing, how does MetalX manage this? Achieving compliance without totally sacrificing the decentralization it champions? It's a delicate but really crucial balance they seem to be aiming for.
That's a fascinating point, building that safer, more verifiable place for assets while navigating these really complex regulatory waters. Yeah. And it doesn't stop there, does it? Because MetalX seems to be going for this truly comprehensive, one-stop shop kind of approach.
Indeed. That leads right into the third key benefit. One platform, many tools. MetalX isn't just a place to trade XXLM for XMD. It integrates a whole suite of functionalities. The source list, trading, swaps, pools, farming, lending, and more. You should think of it as this meticulously put together crypto everything ecosystem. I remember my early days in DeFi, probably like many listeners, trying to navigate like a dozen different platforms, jumping from one app to another just to stake something, then swap somewhere else, maybe lend over here.
Yeah, it was like digital whack-a-mole sometimes.
Exactly. Felt just like that. So this consolidation on MetalX, it isn't just about convenience, though it is convenient. It's really designed to streamline that entire user journey. You can do atomic swaps for instant exchanges. You can contribute to liquidity pools to earn yield. You can participate in farming for token rewards or use lending and borrowing facilities, all without ever having to leave the MetalX environment. This integrated experience, it reduces complexity, it minimizes potential security risks that come with connecting your wallet to tons of different protocols, and fundamentally it just makes managing your digital assets and engaging with all these diverse DeFi opportunities incredibly efficient. It's really about creating a sticky, interconnected user experience that caters to a whole spectrum of crypto activities, from basic swaps to more advanced yield generation.
It really does sound like having all your financial tools finally in one, intuitively designed app, instead of juggling 20 different ones. That definitely streamlines things, and I imagine lowers the barrier to entry for some of those more sophisticated DeFi activities too. And this all ties neatly back into MetalX's bigger vision, doesn't it? Their main goal, as they stated, is nothing less than making everything crypto one platform.
It absolutely does. Yeah, this stellar integration, it isn't some random event. It fits perfectly with that really ambitious mission. Like the source says, Adoption of blockchain and stablecoin infrastructure accelerates, and platforms like MetalX are positioning themselves strategically, not just to meet that demand, but to actively shape it. We're seeing a clear trend, I think, where users just don't want fragmented experiences anymore. They want comprehensive, integrated solutions. Solutions that kind of mimic the simplicity we expect from traditional finance, but with all the added benefits of decentralization, the transparency, the user control, the potential for innovation. So this move, adding Stellar, it signifies a clear understanding of this evolving landscape, where user-friendly, all-in-one crypto platforms are probably going to be key in driving wider mainstream adoption. What's fascinating here really is that strategic foresight. Platforms like MetalX anticipating and building for these growing demands, building for a future where digital assets are just seamlessly integrated into our financial lives, not just as speculative things, but as truly functional parts of a new kind of global economy.
It's a bold vision, for sure, but also a pretty logical one when you look at the direction things are heading towards integration, towards accessibility. So to bring it all back home for you, our listener, here's the distilled essence, the takeaway from today's Deep Dive. Stellar's integration on MetalX gives you a new, highly efficient, and incredibly cost-effective way to engage with a top-tier digital asset, XLM, and it's all happening within this robust, multifunctional, decentralized platform. Remember those core benefits we talked about? You're looking at zero gas fees, huge. Enhanced on-chain security through transparency and decentralization, and a wide array of crypto tools, swapping, pooling, lending, all available in one convenient, powerful ecosystem. It genuinely seems to simplify the often complex world of decentralized finance, making it more approachable and hopefully more rewarding for you.
Yeah, and this, raises an important question, something for you to maybe ponder as you think about these developments. How might this ongoing consolidation of functions onto single decentralized platforms like what MetalX is doing? How might that fundamentally reshape the user experience and maybe even drive wider mainstream adoption of digital assets in the coming years? If this idea of everything crypto, one platform, really catches on, what new kinds of financial interaction might emerge maybe a decade from now? Could we actually see a future where that line between traditional banking and DeFi just completely blurs? And how might that impact global economies or even just your own individual financial autonomy? These steps today, like Stellar and MetalX, they feel like just the beginning of that much larger and frankly really fascinating transformation.
Exactly. The future is always unfolding, and it's exciting to watch platforms like MetalX actively trying to build it. We definitely encourage you to dive deeper. If this sparked your interest, learn more. You can even explore what MetalX has to offer over at metalx.com. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the latest in digital finance. We'll catch you next time, ready to unpack more fascinating insights.